Then we pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in them.
Happy New Year, everybody. I guess it's already the 2nd. That's already passed. It's over and done with. So I hope everyone's 2025 is going good. I'm ExtrmWill. This is my tech channel, and we're going to talk about Salad AI and how much my 30 rigs are making. If we get into this, I should start off on this screen. If we get into looking at this priority chart, I did notice something while I was looking at this a couple days ago that I didn't realize right away. It gives you the recommended amount of RAM on here that it thinks you should have. I tend to agree with this for the most part. I do think, either though the 4070 Ti, I think you should be running 64. The 4070, I think you should be running 64. And one more. I believe the 3060 12GB card, I think you should be running 64 gigabyte of RAM on those two. From what I've seen with those three cards, there is a pretty decent chance of you actually getting paid more for having the 64 RAM as opposed to the 32. For all of the rest of these, I think it's pretty well dead on, where I think most of the 30 series cards, other than your 3090, your 3090 Ti, maybe the 3080 Ti. I don't have a 3080 Ti. If I had a 3080 Ti, I'd probably run 64 gigs on that. And then 3060 12GB card, I think you should have 64 gigs on that. But everything pretty much from the 3080 and lower, other than the 3060 12GB card, I think 32 gigabytes of RAM is plenty. I think you're the odds of making more money on one of those machines is so small at that point that I don't think it justifies the more RAM. But I saw the couple. I think it does kind of tend to justify, because we might see some of them. I don't know if we'll see with the 3060s right now. I guess the demand on it is pretty low. It is towards the bottom here. Oh wow, this literally redid. Ow. When I was looking at this 10 minutes ago, I just refreshed it like 10 minutes ago, there were still like 3 cards down here in the low priority. So, now let's scroll back up. I wonder if it's already changed. What's up here? The top looks like it's about the same. They only have 1 card right now, low priority. Still nothing in high priority right now, which is fine. Moderate priority on everything is okay. Like, because everything's in moderate priority, like if you have 10 4080s right now, because it's moderate, they're not necessarily all going to be running. Most of them should be running. You should be over 50% running on any card in moderate. And then the low priority is, I don't know, maybe you're at like 30%. If they may not be running at all in here for the low priority. But the moderate priority, you should be running at least at 50%, I would say, for those cards. So we'll get into it and take a look. I did like this when I saw the RAM spec. I didn't see this in here the first time I was looking at it, just trying to wrap my head around it and seeing what they have. I still don't really pay a whole lot of attention to this earnings side. This is probably right, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it necessarily. But if we do look at this for the cards that are in here right now for the moderate priority, it says the 4080 is first. I don't have any 4080s, but it is nice to see with how expensive that card is that it does look like it'll be up there in the moderate priority, because that's pretty good. 3090, I have a whole bunch of them. It says this is the 2nd card in demand, but I still think for me these are running. I have 5. I want to say they're still running at about 50%, but we'll see. My 4070 Ti's, I don't remember when I was looking. My 4090s are down in 4th, and I know they're not all running right now. So take a look at that and see. I think I have an amazing job right now on a 4060 Ti, which is really, really nice. So we'll see those two. I have one of the 4070s, 3080 Ti. I don't have any of those. I don't have any of the 4070 Ti Supers, but we'll get into it when we get into everything here. So we'll see. So it does look like yesterday I made $34 and 83 cents in the last 24 hours. So about $35-ish. Here in Tampa, I have a 15-cent electric cost, so it's probably about $10 of electric, because I didn't really use that much. If I made over $40, it's probably getting up into like that $11 a day for me for electric. But my electric use for the salad, it tends to be really low. Like you're not like crypto mining, so even though I'm running like 30 rigs or 30 cards, however you want to look at it, like it's not going full bore the whole time, so it's not just like crushing my electric bill. My electric bill's a little expensive, but it's not terrible. I mean, it's only like $10 a day for this, whereas then I would have made about an extra $24. So, or maybe $20 after they take out all their fees, so not too bad though. Kind of average day for me, I would say. It could definitely be a lot worse. I see that. I mean, there were some peaks in here where I guess it wasn't too bad. I'm not saying too much here below 30 cents. I think maybe yesterday I had some below 30 cents. So, my highs are just a little bit here where it's just a little over 45 cents every 15-minute blocks. So these are all 15-minute blocks. So you figure out your average for this, and then you multiply the 15 minutes by 4, gives you how much you're making per hour, and then by 24 gives you how much you're making per day, which would be 96. You multiply your 15-minute block by 96, basically 100. Real easy way to just kind of rough eyeball it. So I can believe it was probably averaging about 35 cents. It looks like it was doing a little more than 35 cents, but because I don't see a lot of real lows in here, but that's about right. So if we look at the last 7 days, today is down a little bit from yesterday. Yesterday was 36.57, so that was probably a little bit better. Day before, I thought they were kind of like ramping a lot of stuff down at the end of the year. A lot of companies look like they kind of were. A lot of this looked like a lot more cards were in low demand. Still nothing up in high demand, just the moderate, but I kind of figured like the end of the year would taper down a little bit, but we had a couple days there that were really nice. I mean, I had a pretty good stretch where it was going over $40 a day if we look at here at the like the 30-day here. So it's been 34, $35, 41, 40, 44, 44 and a half, almost 48, 46, one slow day, 43, 51. So, we had definitely some pretty good, nice little stretch there. We're doing pretty decent. And hopefully with the start of the new year, there'll be a whole bunch more jobs coming back in. So it's definitely looking pretty decent. But right now we should see about $42 a day in jobs. So I'm pretty sure that looks like about what I saw when I was looking earlier. So we'll see here. So we go through all of the 30 machines here. We're using Chrome Remote Desktop to get into everything. I have 34090s, 53090s, two 4070 Ti's, one 4070, three 4060 Ti's, four 3060s, three 3060 Ti's, five 3070s, two 3070 Ti's, and two 3080s. So there's a pretty good variety in here. Most of them are on a lot of kind of whatever. All these BC PC ones, those are the bc/pc.com combo kits from Brandon Coin. Some of them have different amounts of RAM because some of them I threw more RAM in them and some of them I took some of the RAM out. So they all kind of varying RAM, but it's an X99 motherboard with a 12-core Xeon processor. And then I've got a bunch of PCs in here randomly scattered too. So when we get into each machine here, we'll cover all that. So if we get into the first machine, this is X99 motherboard with a Xeon 20-core processor, 128 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 4090, and it's doing 10 cents a day right now at like that 0.004 cents per hour. We're looking at this all on Windows 10. I'm not running anything on Windows 11 until I'm absolutely forced into running on Windows 11. I don't like it. I don't want to use it. I think it's just filled with bloatware. I would go back to Windows 95 right now if it would be somewhat supported and if I could do AI on Windows 95. I would much rather go backwards than go forwards. I don't like any of the stuff that they're doing. So, but yeah, this is currently doing 10 cents, so that's dumb. This is calculated. This is the average of how much you were making in the last 5 minutes. So we may see some machines here, if they just started a job or just ended a job, we'll get some real weird amounts. Starting to get used to it. I still have my Google spreadsheet up over here. I'll try to put that in the link down below. I don't know if you really need it. It's just the one column I have the amounts it tells me, and the next column is it multiplied by 24 to make it easier for me, because I'm not used to figuring out how much everything's making per hour and then doing all that. So I know this is 10 cents per day, so I'm still looking at this as if everything is running by the day. I think that's just the easiest way for me still to calculate it, because that's how I wrap my head around it. So let's go to the next machine. This is first three are basically all the same thing. They're the 20 core processor, 128 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 4090. They are different manufacturers on them. So this one is doing 25.9 cents an hour, which comes out to $6.21 per day. So that's pretty nice. Gotta like that. If we go to the next one here, this is same thing, 20 cores, 128 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 4090. Since that's right now, it's doing 22.03 cents. I think this one just started this job up, so I'm going to say I think this is actually doing also the $6.21 a day, but I think it just started this job, because this is a different amount than it told me like 5 minutes ago when I brought everything up. So I think this is one where you're seeing it's not quite reporting right now. We could go into Windows PowerShell and take a look what Windows PowerShell says. Let's do it. Let's take a look at Windows PowerShell really quickly. I do have another video up if you do want to do this. You can double check everything. I run as administrator because that's how I like to. Oh, come on. What was that? I don't even know what that is that I'm trying to do. Oh, that's my, I don't know how that went in there. Oh, I must have copy and pasted. Yeah, so I'm going to assume this is actually the 621. I don't know why it still looks weird in here when you check everything. I don't know why this doesn't look cleaner. I'm happy to not have to be doing the Windows PowerShell, but I do have a video on how to get the code. You can bring it up through your logs, but yeah, I think it just started that job. Oh, I should have looked longer at that. I should have looked to see how long it was running the job for, but I didn't. Ah, well. So those are 4090s. Two of them are running a real job, and one of them is running a complete BS job. So now we're into the 3090s. This is a AMD Threadripper 1950X, 16 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090. This is the one that was in my office for quite a while, for quite a long time. This is Skynet right here. This is what I was doing everything with, running my whole operation off of. But when Salad started, I was like, nope, let's just throw a new hard drive in it and let's throw it out in the garage because it's making too much money to be sitting in here, and now it's not making anything. So yeah, this one, it's got the cool custom, the piping in it. This is the one for the picture.
We pump those profits back.
That's what I wanted. That's Skynet right there. Except that has actually the dual Titan graphics cards, which I'm not running anymore. It's got the 3090 in it, but it did have the dual Titans for quite a while. The dual Titans are in that cardboard box back there. Nice cards. But yeah, currently not running. Boo. Alright, so let's go to the next one. This is 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090. So this is basically the BC/PC.com combo kit. And this one says it is doing 16.23 cents per hour, which if I look would tell me that's doing about $4 a day. So that is a pretty nice job. I gotta like that. That's significantly more than I was expecting. So that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. So if we go to the next one here, This is 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090. This is currently looking for a job. Boo. The next one, 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090. This one's also looking for a job. Oh man, so that's 3 of them not working. And this one, I'm going to say, must have just picked a job up. Yeah, it says it's in the process of picking a job up. So, it's 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 3090. Because that 3.82 cents an hour would be like $1. But I'm going to take a wild guess and say this is probably running $2.62 a day, because that's what they tend to run. But we'd have to come back to it later to see what it's doing. So, 2 of my 5 3090s right now are running. So still, if we check this, I believe that was the second in demand card. Ooh. Yeah, and I'm actually below 500 on them running right now. So it happens. So let's go to the next one. 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4070 Ti. This one says it's doing 13.06 cents an hour, which I have at $3.30 a day. So that's pretty good. It should be like a medium priority job. If we go to the next one, 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4070 Ti. This one's doing 5.5 cents a day, so that's $1.30. If we go to the next one, RTX 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4070. This one's not doing anything. I don't think this one's ran a job probably in days. My 4070, this is probably my single worst card for Salad. Like, without question, my worst card I have. It kind of rarely tends to run jobs. And I get it, I think, because the next cards, the 4060 Ti's, wind up being such a better value. They're cheaper and they have more VRAM, so they do a better job processing all this AI workload stuff. So this is 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti. These are all the 16 gigabyte cards. So this one is doing 17.38 cents an hour. This is $4.16 a day. So this one is crushing it. I got it like that. That's like the 4060 Ti's on the old pay scale. So that is definitely nice. This one I wanted to show you guys too. So this is, well, obviously I want to show you guys everything, but this one we're going to stop and talk about for a second. So this is 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti. Unable to access the internet, container workloads are unable to access the internet, support guide to resolve. I think that's just from my internet provider. I don't think my 5 gig over 5 gig actually ran out of internet, but I do get these every once in a while. I think this is just my internet provider does not 100% of the time actually provide me 5 gig over 5 gig. I just pay for 5 gig over 5 gig, so most of the time I have 5 gig over 5 gig. But I think every once in a while, like 99.8% of the time, I have the 5 gig over 5 gig. But like 0.0 or like 0.2 or 0.02% of the time, I probably only actually have like 1 gig over 1 gig. Like it's a smaller fraction of the time, but I do run into an issue. When this comes up right now, if I hit the retry button, it's going to kick me out of this job. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to say no. I think that's just I'm pretty sure that's just my ISP being a jerk and not actually giving me the full amount of bandwidth 100% of the time. They don't come up a lot. I do see them every couple of days. Oh, it's still showing as degraded though. Oh, I thought that would get rid of it. Oh. Well, I don't actually want to hit retry, because if I hit retry, it will kick me out of this job, which I don't like. I don't like that you can't retry to take it away. But if I see it's not running active in a job, then I'll do it. It says right now it's doing a little under 5.5 cents. So 5.5 cents is one of the ones I have memorized by heart. So it's doing about probably like $1.28 a day, like $1.30-ish a day, just a little under $1.30 a day. I want to hit the retry button to clean it out, but I don't want to clean that out. We're just going to let it run. It's fine. It has internet. It just, for a little second there, just not quite enough internet to be a little bit of a jerk. So let's go to the next one. 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti. This one's doing 5.5 cents, so this one's also doing $1.30. So the 4060 Ti's right now, all three of them are running, which is pretty good. I haven't seen all three of them run, I don't think, in a little while. They were on low priority there for a long, long time. So with the Chrome Remote Desktop, you have to be careful Chrome Remote Desktoping in. You're trying to, when you remote in, you are launching a virtual monitor, which can mess up all your virtualization. We're trying to run all this AI stuff, because the AI stuff is all just virtualization. So you can technically like crash your jobs out. I have seen it. It does happen. It's kind of rare. So it's, you know, it's in the fraction of a percentile. So I still think this is the best way to get in and monitor it. I'd like it if they gave us a better way to monitor it. Like, I would love it if I could just do like a Hive OS or like a nice hash kind of thing where I can log in and go like, look, all of my machines are up and running and they're all either active or not active in a job, and I could see errors and stuff like that. And it would be really nice if we had something like that, but we don't. So I'm happy enough with what we have right now, though. I think what we have right now is way better than what we've had for the last little bit, so that is pretty good. So let's get into it. We're into the next one. Now we're going to start getting into, these aren't all going to be a lot of the same stuff. I have a lot more PCs in here. It's not all just like the X99 BC/PC.com combo kit things. I got a lot of PCs in here. Now this is one, when I turn this on a couple of minutes ago before I watched the video, obviously I try checking everything because I want to know like what I'm looking at. And I don't want to be like, huh, what's that say? And then like not have thought about some of this stuff in advance. This one was telling me it was running like a really weird amount, because it still looks like that's still a little bit of a weird amount. This is 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060. So it's running 6.88 cents. So this is running, I don't actually have it in there. It's probably running like $1.60 to $1.70. Let's see, let's pull the calculator out and see what that is. 0.0688 times 2.4. Says right now it's doing $1.65 a day, which I don't actually have on my chart because it's a weird amount to be running. I do believe this is one where I'm probably paying, I might be paying for more cores. They might be paying for more cores. Either more cores or they are paying for the more RAM, because it should be like $1.30, but they're paying me an extra 35 cents for something. So the memory usage doesn't look super high right now because this is only a 24. I can't necessarily tell with the cores, but I'd assume they're probably paying for the more memory, which is why I said at the beginning of the video, I think the 3060s, I'm actually a bigger fan of having the 64 gigabytes in there, because I think you will see this kind of thing more often where you can make more than that $1.30 if you have more RAM. Most of the jobs are only paying for one to two cores, either 1 or 2 cores for the CPU, but the memory can be one. Certain cards, they'll have jobs, they're more likely to pay a little bit more for them. So if we get into this next one here, we are on a i7 8 core 64 gigabytes RTX 3060. This one's currently looking for a job. And so what I'll do really quickly here, I'll double check. I have my this PC C drive program data, which is hidden. It's important you check your program data, not your program file. Checking your program file doesn't do you any good. It's got to be the program data, salad, WSL, making sure this looks like it is all up to date. So it updated 40 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago. So my WSL file is fine. This does get stuck every once in a while, and salad doesn't tell you when it's stuck. So when it is, I have a video. If you go to the web page, it should be in that top bar for recommended videos, what to do if your WSL file gets stuck. Just like delete it and restart the computer, and then salad will regenerate a new one. But these can get stuck every once in a while. So it's important to double check that and make sure that it's not stuck. Normally, I consider it stuck. If it's more than 48 hours old, it's stuck and something went wrong with it. If it's under 48 hours old, it just hasn't had to download a new one. So, because it doesn't need to download a new one if you're not working, if you're not active in a job. So, that's kind of how I monitor and micromanage all of that. So, let's go to this next one here. This is AMD Ryzen 7 5700X, 8 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060. This one's doing 5.5 cents, so that should be about $1.30 a day. This next one, i5, 6 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060. This one's doing 0.0815. So this one's doing $1.95. So this one you can see it is actually using the more memory. It's at the 38.8. So I will reiterate again, I do think with the 3060s, you do really want to have that more memory in there, because I think we have at least 2 of them right now. 2 of my 4 are making more than the $1.30 because they actually have the more RAM. I think with like the 3060 12 gigabyte card and the 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte card, a lot of the customers are savvy enough to realize those cards are real big value for them. So like they'll get the card with the more VRAM and pay for the more memory, and they're more likely to put it on a higher priority because it's the 3060 12 gigabyte card is a better value for running AI than a 3070 is, because you get the more VRAM. Or the 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte is better than the 4070, and it's probably better than the 4070 Ti. It's not going to be better than the 4070 Ti Super, though. I'm not sure. It's probably about, actually, even maybe with like a 4080. Like, you'd have to start looking into stuff that starts getting well above what I'm able to really process. And that looks like the price on that just changed. Did the price on it go down? Yeah. Oh. So we were making more on this, and now it looks like... Oh, the job just ended. Oh, that's dumb. So now Sal is looking for a compatible job, but you can see it's giving us like a weird amount. It's saying like 7.74 cents now. Oh. Well, we saw a job end, and you see how this looks really weird, because we had like a proper amount for a proper job, and now that it's not active in a job anymore, now it's giving us a weird amount, because I don't have that amount written on my chart. I don't have anything around that amount written on my chart. So it's now looking for a job. That didn't end, I don't think, because we were looking at it in the Chrome Remote Desktop, because it would be when you launch Chrome Remote Desktop that it would crash. It's not when you're looking at it in Chrome Remote Desktop it crashes. It's when you launch it. So, yeah, it looks like we just happened to see one end, and we see what it looks like here where the amount looks weird. So let's go to the next one. So i7, 8 cores, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. I believe these are these in the low demand? It was in the low demand earlier. No, the only thing in the low demand right now is the 3090 Ti. I do not have a 3090 Ti. So these were in low demand yesterday, but they're not today. Today they're in moderate demand. So this one looks like it's doing 5.5 cents. So that is $1.30 a day. It's just standard low priority job. So here we have an i5, 6 cores, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti, so like 5.5 cents. So this one is doing $1.30 a day. This next one, AMD Ryzen 5, 3600, 6 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. Downloading a job. So this one should be in the process of downloading a job. One thing I've noticed too, you do kind of want to watch. If it says it's in the process of downloading a job, take a look at your WSL file. And if your WSL file is 2 days old and it says it's in the process of downloading a job, it's not in the process of downloading a job. If it doesn't update the WSL file, it's stuck and it's broken, and you need to turn Salad off, delete the WSL file, and probably restart the computer, and then when you refire Salad up, it'll re-download a new WSL file, and then it should be fine. But I have seen that a couple times. Yeah, it probably was off this update, because I think we're on... Well, I don't know. No, it might have been off the previous update. It was either on 1.7... Oh, man, I don't even know what update we're on right now. It was either on this update or on the previous one, because it was still telling you whether it had a job going or not. But I've seen it a couple times where they did get stuck in that screen. So it is something to monitor and pay attention to. I do like having this up a lot here. That's why I literally just have it... Close this out. I just have a shortcut here for it, so I can just bring it up real quick and easy, and then I just bring it down in the corner. Let me take a look and see. And yeah, it's still downloading the new job. Let's take a look at this real quick. How much is this taking? Because I don't ever actually pay any attention to this at all. So this looks like it's taking... It can easily take 200 megabytes. Does it show that on here too? I don't know if these are both the same. I don't know why it has two different things in here. Yeah, these look like they're literally both the exact same chart. Yeah. So it can go... This job particularly is going over 200 megabytes, which is interesting. I don't pay enough attention to it. I went massive overkill with my internet, so I don't have to. So when I first started, I was able to run 10 machines with 1 gig up and 1 gig down. But I was like, hey, I'm going to massively scale this. You know, I wanted to... I don't know if I set a real number, but I wanted to scale it out like as crazy as I could. Well, I set an amount I was willing to spend to massively scale up. I think it probably was going to be about 30, because I knew that was about how many cards I had. So let's see if it's in the job now then. But it won't matter. It's actually in the job because it's still how much it's averaged for the last 5 minutes. Yeah. But when they changed the size of the WSL files, so you had to have a bigger hard drive, it definitely drastically increased the amount of bandwidth that you can eat up at one point in time, to which I do not pay enough attention to, but I am trying to do a better job with that for you guys. So let's go to the next one. And this is Intel. This looks like this is a BC/PC.com combo kit, the 12-core. I only have 32 gigabytes of memory in this one because it's an RTX 3070, and I don't think there's any real reason to run an RTX 3070 with 64 gigabytes of memory. I just don't think anybody really looking to rent that card really wants to pay for the extra memory. They're just... If somebody's renting a 3070, they're just trying to do it on the cheap. On the real cheap. So, I think 32 gigabytes is good. I definitely agree with them on that. But, yeah... WSL file. This one says it would have been yesterday at 9 p.m. So we're still like less than 12 hours old on the WSL file, so that's not a real big deal. It's just looking for a job. So let's go to the next one. Intel i7, 8-core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. This one's doing 5.5 cents, so it's doing $1.30. Let's go to the next one. AMD Ryzen 7 3700X, 8 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. This one says it's doing 5.5 cents. So that's $1.30. This is weird though, because this does say it's still using more memory. But they're not paying me for the more memory. I wonder if that error is still in there where the memory usage can bloat out to being significantly bigger than it's supposed to. Because if I'm using Over 30 gigabytes of memory. I should be getting paid for 30 gigabytes of memory, but this one's not paying me for it. That's interesting. That they're doing it anyways without paying me for it. Very interesting. The previous one was doing that too. I don't think I've seen that before. Alright, well, let's go to the next one. So, Intel i5. 6 cores, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3070. This one is currently looking for a job. And this next one, i3, 4 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. This one's active in a job, doing $1.30. It's 5.5 cents per hour, so it's $1.30 for the day. And this one also has 64 gigabytes. This one the same thing. So that is interesting. So somehow or other, they're letting 3070s right now use more memory. So if there is 64 gigabytes of memory in your 3070 right now, on my 3 3070s that do have 64 gigabytes, they're all running a job using more memory than they're supposed to, making $1.30. They should be making more. They should be making closer to $2 a day. So it should be like 8 cents an hour, not 5 cents an hour. Huh. It's interesting. Definitely, I think having more memory in there is a good thing, but I don't know why I'm not getting paid for that. That seems fishy to me. It's not an end of the world thing though. Like, I have the more memory in there, but it does definitely lead me to believe I do. Because stuff like that makes me want to put more memory in everything. But I've still got about another month before I think I can put money back into this again. We got another big vacation coming, and I got to take care of that first before I can start buying more toys. So, now did it move? See how it is actively running a job on your hardware. Point. Now it jumped up. So, I wonder if we go back and look at those other 3070s now. Let's go back and look at those other 3070s now. Let's see if they're also jumped up too. Oh, I shouldn't have been closing everything out. That one up. That one's already up there, right? Yeah. That one is looking for a job. That one didn't go up. That one didn't go up. This one did. They are starting to pay me more for this one. So I wonder if these other two here. Let's bring up this thing. No, I'm not getting paid more on this one. I don't think I'm getting paid more on this one. I think I am getting paid the $1.56 on this one right now. Because it did go up. It's giving you like your average for the last 5 minutes. But it does look like this one I'm getting paid for using the more memory. These two I'm still not. Boo. But yeah, you can see on this one now it's at 0.07. So yeah, it's like $1.90-ish per day. Which makes more sense. If you're using the more memory, you should. Kind of rare. Very rare to see that with the 3070, but we're still seeing it. So, I mean, I'll take it wherever I can get it. So, it's very interesting. So, let's go on to the next ones. Definitely spent more than enough time on that. AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. So it's currently looking for a job. This one, the last several days, was actually doing about $2 or a little over $2 per day. Maybe like $2.25 per day. This is the one that's upstairs hooked up to the printer. That's been doing pretty good. I think this next one, I think actually is also, or was when I checked it earlier. So this is AMD Ryzen 5 3600X, 6 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 Ti. This is doing 8.42 cents per hour, which is about $2. So that's pretty nice. Gotta like, I don't expect the 3070 Ti's to be rented out too much either, but gotta like it definitely when they are. So RTX, let's get to the next one here. This is bc/pc.com combo kit, X99 motherboard with a 12-core Xeon processor, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3080. This one is doing 10.25 cents per hour, which is... I don't actually have 10.25 cents on here, do I? Want to say 240-ish per day. No, that's not bad. 0.1025 times 24. $2.46 a day. So I mean, that's definitely really, really good for a 3080. Gotta like that. So this one too, it looks like it is. They are paying for the more memory. So looks like it's pretty good. They might be paying for more cores too. That is definitely a pretty good job for that card. So let's go to the last one, another RTX 3080. It's i3, 4 cores, 32 gigabytes. RTX 3080 is currently not running. And I got to look back at this now and say, honestly, man, I almost want 64 in everything. Because we did see with these moderate priorities, it looked almost like everything that had 64 gigabytes of RAM in it was running. And everything with 32 gigabytes of RAM in it looked like it wasn't running. So I know I want to update my RAM on everything. It's just RAM can be expensive. Facebook Marketplace for me, I live in Florida in the U.S. Facebook Marketplace for me is really, really good for buying RAM. Now it's kind of a pain in the butt to do. You got to meet up with people, and then is it worth it? Are you getting it at a good enough price to be worth you spending an hour to drive to go pick it up and come back? Your time is important too. So sometimes just picking stuff up on Amazon can make more sense than trying to save a penny on Facebook Marketplace, because I've definitely bought my fair share of stuff on Facebook Marketplace too that didn't work. I have the really expensive power strip out in the garage that was supposed to give me my electric readings. I was going to put all my 4090s and 3090s on it so I could get a better power reading on it. And then that power strip was dead because I bought it off Facebook Marketplace trying to save money because I didn't want to spend $500 on a new power strip. So, yeah, gotta update that RAM. I guess getting 64 RAM into everything right now looks like that's probably a really good idea. So that's pretty much it for this. We'll go take a real quick look at the comments from the last stuff. Nothing in there that really needs a lot of real detail. A lot of guys just saying, thanks for the comparisons and the transparency. At Fun Dumb said that. At Don't Mind Me Mining. I didn't realize at Don't Mind Me Mining is another YouTuber who also makes salad content. I spent a little while talking to him in the comment section, and then I was just scrolling through YouTube, and he came up in my recommended viewing. I was like, hey, I recognize that name. So subscribe to his channel. Go over to Don't Mind Me Mining. Can I bring his channel up? Let's do this. Open a new tab. I don't know if he's doing a bunch of stuff or if he's just doing salad right now, but he's got like 10 rigs on salad, and he's probably got some other stuff going on over there too. This page looks like it's way more professional than mine is. So, but I happened to see the video specifically where he was shooting me out. He gave me a shout out, so I'll give him a shout out back too. So go over there, like, subscribe to all his stuff, and watch all his stuff too. I just thought it was like crazy because like we were talking in the comment section, and then I saw like his video. His video, he was giving me a shout out. And it's like, what? Pretty cool. It definitely made my day. Just kind of the way things work sometimes. One of the guys saying too, there's definitely some huge differences between the containers. Obviously, you know, like how much like bandwidth they are pulling. I don't tend to look at them enough when it's actually in the process of downloading because it's just not part of the thing I'm trying to track necessarily. I don't know a whole lot about networking, so I'm looking at it like I don't really know the difference between a gigabyte and a gigabit. Like, I don't know. I like to play video games, and I like to make money, and if I can get that kind of stuff to all work in, then I do that. So, I know some stuff though. I'm kind of smart. User RX4IP, yeah, his electric is way too high. His card set is not the best for salad, unfortunately. Somebody underneath, I believe, said he should move to Russia. Russia has 2 cents per kilowatt hour electric, apparently. Russia, Serbia, and Rustica region, probably crushing that. 2 cents per kilowatt hour? Man. And it's cold, so you don't have to worry about trying to cool anything off. You don't have to worry about the heat. 2 cents per kilowatt hour sounds nice. I don't think I'd want to live in Russia, though. Like, I lived in Wisconsin. I feel like that was close enough. I don't know if I'd really want to live in that region. It seems like it might be a little risky. But you started telling me 2 cents per kilowatt hour. Like, definitely interested. Then somebody else wanted to ask, Polanawaskawaga. Please review the withdrawal process. So I linked below, it's in the previous video, I linked Brandon Coin's video on how to do it because that makes more sense to me than me making one. Because you got to worry about like showing your identity stuff and not fully sure how to blur stuff out when I do editing. So it'd be a little bit of a pain in the... It feels like it would be more of a pain in the butt to edit that video and try to do it correctly than to just point you over to his video. Brandon already did it, so his video I think is better. And then Hassana Lyerlands, Hassana Liar Slan, 950. Wanted to see my salad settings. I have a video in the recommended things on my salad settings. I have a new video coming. I have 2 videos that are filmed that I just need to edit and get together. And what I think I'm going to do, I think when I'm on vacation, I'm going to have those 2 how-tos come out while I'm gone for that week. So I have content still. I'll have one come out. I have them come out like every 3 days or whatever. So I have some content that'll come out while I'm gone. So there's still something coming on the channel. So I don't just disappear for 2 weeks and then come back and then be like, oh, I thought you were done. I also want to make a how-to video, an intro, because I know people like I love my intro for these, for the earnings videos, but I think I've got a really good idea for how to do a real quick intro video for my how-tos, but I don't know how to do any of the effects on the new editing software yet, so I need to teach myself how to do that and all that too. So, alright, this video is I am definitely starting to drain on and on. I didn't realize we're at 50 minutes. That's crazy. So I won't wait too long. Should have sped that up a lot more and gone a lot faster. So, if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below. I'm pretty good about getting back and forth with the comments and all that, and if you ask me something I don't know, I will research it and look into it and do my best to figure it out. Or point you to a direction where I know the answer already is. So yeah, like the video, subscribe, come on back. I'll see you next time. Peace.